Bashim Yahawah Bashim Rikakwadash the water Yahawah. Yeah. Kolo Yahawah Bashim Yahawah Bashim Rikakwadash the water Yahawah. Water Yahawah, Washim Yahawah Shai, Rakatha Yahawah, for your mercy as I cry. Call on Yahawah, Washim Yahawah Shai, Water Yahawah, for your mercy as I cry. Shalaki Yahawah, for my sins as I cry. Call Yahawah, Bashim Yahawah Shai, Rakadash Yahawah, for reply every time. Call Yahawah, Bashim Yahawah Shai. Water, Yahawah, for your mercy all the time. Shalom, shalom. It's your brother Obadiah Hawanan of the tribe of Reuben. And Most High, he put something on my spirit to come on and get it out. And we got a lesson today, and I hope you love it. I hope you like it. It's definitely going to be, again, some very high-level nutrient fruit for all those that are going to be able to feed off of this. And that's just what's important. Because, again, we're at that time, and at point where isolation tribulation is almost at hand. And we're going to be getting into it, and we're going to talk about a lot of things that aren't readily talked about, but we're going to filter through the Ruach HaKodesh and the Spirit to do this in a fashion that I praise and worship and pray to Yahawah Shem Yahushua. It's going to be very fruitful and very beneficial. First and foremost, let me say salutations and my utmost and deepest respect and admiration to the apostles who have been bringing this truth out for decades in and decades out. And they've been bringing it in the form of accuracy. This is so very important. We have so much in terms of wayward devil doctrines that are coming out from all different platforms. And it doesn't exclude the Hebrew Israelite awakening. You have a lot of these organizations that they formulate their own doctrinal belief systems in a fashion where they go against the accuracy of the truth that the apostles of GMS have been bringing out and have been sticking to it. There's no deviation going on in terms of that accuracy. You call it what you want, but all of these derivatives that you see out here today, whether they're out on the highway and byways or whether they're on social media, the unicorn of information, you can easily tell whose deviation is being used and what fashion it's being done in. And clearly we can see at this particular time that this is what's going to contribute to the isolation tribulation process and the rebels being taken to the wilderness, which we're going to talk about this today. So I want to also say and finish up with salutations to the hopeful elect and those that have been striving in this truth, bringing their bodies out because Yahawah Shem Yahushua said as a living sacrifice, which is your reasonable service to him and to the ministry and to the kingdom of Yahawah Shem Yahushua. Also want to give a salutation and shalom to all of your Akwav and the Akim who are like-minded in terms of bringing the truth out and not deviating from the sacred name and the truth. If you're in this truth and you're not pushing and promoting and bringing out the sacred name, then you're not in the truth, okay? And you are spiritually blocked, and you are a proxy. You have a proxy relationship going on with YAHAWAH Shem Yahushua, and you're leaning more to the left, because no one has the authority to change the sacred name of YAHAWAH Shem Yahushua. No one has the authority to change anything in reference to the word and the scriptures. As I brought out before when I talked about in 2nd Ezra chapter 14, 2nd Esdras chapter 14, which is, of course, in the Apocrypha, and we got down to talking about the fact that there are, 204 books that Ezra had written and with 5 scribes after they come out of captivity. Now, make sure we understand there's 204 books. Now, the consolidation of the process, as I said before, we have 80 books. It says that 80 books were going to be given to the worthy and the unworthy to read. It didn't say they were going to be able to understand it. It just said that they would be able to read it. Okay, so make that very clear. And then it says that the 70 books would be released at another time, and probably and most likely at around this time, the 70 will be released to the wise so that they can distribute to those with understanding. Now, who are the wise? Well, the wise formulate and fit in the category of accuracy. If you're not formulating and promoting accuracy and not deviating from the truth, then you can't be the wise. It's as simple as that. And if you're not the wise, you're not part of the remnant. And if you're not the wise, then it's a good chance you're not part of the elect either. So this is what it is. So we definitely want to say salutation to all of those that are out here, and especially the scattered, that are scattered around the world, because the Most High did that in 1 James. He talked about the fact he was going to scatter us around the world, and we are in the wilderness of the world at this particular time. And it's going to get thicker and it's going to get deeper. And so we're going to find out where you stand in reference to this situation from the scriptures, as well as from the lesson that's going to be brought out here. And it's going to come together. All praise to YAHAWAH Shem Yahushua for that factor. And all ways to him and only to him. As I always do, and I try to start out with, I want to give a prayer from my tribe, from my tribal brothers, to all of the tribes of Israel. And I like to do it in the language of what we were called in captivity, which is Seminole Indians, which is the tribe of Reuben. So I want to go ahead and read that. Get my glasses out now. Sure, get started here. All right. So again, this prayer is something that I practice and try to learn this thing so that I have it down in terms of being able to recite this prayer for YAHAWAH Shem Yahushua and in honor of the tribe of Reuben and my people. And what I'm doing is I'm speaking now, O Great Spirit, all the people, Seminole tribe, thank you for our land, our water, and thank you for our land and water. And we thank you for we thwata you for our dogs who watch over us at night, and our horses who carry us in the day. That's power, represents power, right? And we thank you for our good food, and we thank you for a good wind that blows on our backs, that's spirit. And we thank you for good thoughts that come from our hearts. And thank you, great spirit, YAHAWAH Shem Yahushua, come and eat with us. Okay, so the prayer goes as such in the language of the Seminole Indians as you would know it. Okay, and it would be Ish Yah. It's INSSJ. So I'm just pronouncing it in the Seminole language. Ish Allah Sanoha Hamuda Haye Yahawah Senuka Kamado Ewoje Kashe Senuma Fubaka Senuka Kamuna Faura Senuka Kamuna Fuara Senuka Kanumadu Fuayana Madu Kasha Hamba Kasha Eshawakala Sinunawa Kanamono Hayanama Hawakana Shanua Kanamahado Ifujinuka Shenumahawa Sha Falwa, Senu Kanumawa, Ranura, Senu Kandawawa, Hawakawa, Manukasha, Hama YAHAWAH. That's in the Seminole language, in what I read before, and I'm speaking it now to our great spirit, which is Yahawah Shem Shai. And I hope that you can appreciate the fact that when we got scattered, we had this particular type of situation that had to come upon us in terms of learning another language. And it says in the scriptures that we would be speaking of a different tongue anyway, in a foreign tongue, which is what you basically witnessed. So again, the title for this lesson today is YAHAWAH says, are you spiritually prepared or spiritually scared? Are you spiritually prepared or are you spiritually scared? This is what we're dealing with, and this is where we are at this particular time, okay? So basically, this is what we're going to get into, and we're going to break out scriptures and speak to those things and map it out in the way that we should. And we got a lot of scripture to cover, so we'll try to get through as best I can. But like I said, when Royal Coffee Dish puts the spirit on me to do a lesson, I don't have a time frame. So if you got something else that you think is more important than you trying to find out whether or not you're spiritually prepared for what's getting ready to come, this isolation, tribulation, all of what the Most High is going to do that he said through Jacob's trouble is going to be worse than anything that's ever happened ever in the history of anything that the Most High has done, then hey, there's where you are. Now, again, what I'm going to speak about and talk about, it's not reflecting on trying to feel as though what we're going to do is escape total judgment and total tribulation and isolation. That's not what I'm saying. All of what I'm going to give you in terms of informational preparedness from what I understand and what I learned from my culture of the tribe that I derived from, and then how I was raised in some of these aspects. Okay, I wasn't on a reservation. I don't know much all about that, and I'm not trying to get involved in that portion of it, but I do have some of the instincts and the things that will be able to offer us an opportunity to work within the confines of what we have to deal with that's coming up soon, because a lot of us and a lot of Jakes and a lot of Israelites who are in this captivity in this world, we don't know what to do and we don't know how to do it. And we're not very skilled in that. We're not learned. Listen, I had to learn and relearn how to hunt as far as hunting deer. You know, I'm not a big deer hunter. That's more on Esau's side of the house. But so-called North American Indians, Seminole Indians, the tribe of Gad, Tahinos, we hunted animals for food and for clothing and for shelter before Esau got out the caves. So he ain't the one and the only one that knows how to do things when it comes to that fashion and that passion. Okay, so let's not get it twisted. Secondly, in terms of myself and what expertise I bring to the table, when I was much younger, I've done a lot of things, and even in this inner city of Philadelphia. Let you give you a little story, a little synopsis of what I had kind of been through in terms of how the Most High directs me and shows me what he's going to do and how he's using me. Now, again, I'm not going to try to make too much of this as far as this is not your way of salvation. This is not your rest. But the Most High never said we weren't supposed to be prepared. He's always giving us the reason and the ability through the scriptures, through this inspiration and the touch of the Ruach HaKodesh to be prepared. Joseph was given a prepared process in order to feed people during the famine of the 7 years when he was in Egypt. Okay, a multitude of people were also given prepared processes through the prophets and various people. Jonah, Noah, many were told how to prepare before they went through despair. Got to understand that. Did Elisha get fed by the crows? Did various individuals get fed by the ravens? Yes. Will the Most High come and bring you food from the ravens this time if you get chased to the wilderness? Because some of us may go into these concentration camps. Some of us may not. Some of us may have to live through this tribulation and go all the way through it, all the way to the end. Some of us may not. We don't know. You don't know what you will do or what you have to do. But let me tell you something. If you're not at least trying to prepare, then you do fall under the category of an infidel, because that's what an infidel is. And the scripture says any man who does not prepare or take care of his family, he's less than an infidel. Okay, and you will deal with this. So you're going to be thrust into this tribulation. You're not going to get around it. Everybody's going to be touched, and judgment starts at the house of Israel first. This is why the Most High pushed so much emphasis on he wants praise, worship, and prayer. Okay, look, I'm not going to keep yelling at y'all about this, but he wants to praise, worship, and prayer. It's a higher love. If you're too austere that you can't praise, worship, and pray to the Most High, then when the isolation tribulation process comes down, and when the SHTF happens, okay, and he actually drops the bottom out of everything everywhere, wherever you are is that where you're going to be at. And if you don't have some kind of preparedness, then yeah, you better be riding on the angels. Your angels better be carrying you out. Now again, we don't know exactly when it's not going to happen. Most High tells us what's going to happen. He tells us how it's going to happen. And he also tells us sometimes in the area that it's going to happen. In most cases, he tells us the area, but he doesn't tell you exactly when it's going to happen. Okay, so knowing that, that's where preparedness comes in, which is in the scriptures. And I'm going to show you precepts in scriptures that talk about preparedness and how to be in that position. Because look, will the chariots come and get people and get them out before they get chased to the wilderness? I don't know that. Maybe the chariots will pick you up and take you to the wilderness. Maybe the chariots will get you out of the wilderness. But I'm going to tell you right now, there's a lot of rebels that are running around and they're doing stuff that's not in line with the accuracy of the scriptures, okay? It's just not. Just because you run around with purple band uniforms on, and when their bottom drops out of everything and the SHTF hits the fan, what are you going to do then? Because I'm going to tell you right now, we're inside the door, opening up the windows and looking at the process of the MOTB coming out right in your face. Everything's going to go down and you ain't going to have nothing to do but try to survive without. If you don't take it, if you don't take the C hit, then what you going to do? How you going to eat? How you going to function? If you got to go to the wilderness, Apostle Gabar talked about this multiple times. If you got a family, you got children, okay? You, your wife, whoever, are you prepared to take care of them in the wilderness? Okay, if you got to run, if you got to get a bug out bag, leave your place where you live, all that behind, because you ain't gonna keep none of it anyway. None of it going to the new covenant. You gotta flash out and go to the wilderness. Then how you gonna take care of them? Do you know how to take care of them? Can you dress an animal for dinner? If you kill an animal, take an animal down, can you feed your family? Do you know how to do that? Do you know how to fish? You know how to make something out of make a way to fish without monitoring conveniences, because you ain't gonna have time to grab everything. And we're gonna talk about this, I'm telling you, because you gotta be able to be circumspect in this process. Is anybody telling and teaching you this? Yeah, it's good. You have to know that the angels are gonna protect you. The Lord will deliver you. Yes, he will, but he's going to go through this with you. There's multitude of scriptures that tell you right now, YAHAWAH says he will be with you till the end. He didn't say he was gonna drag you out of this. All Israel got to be judged first. So think about it. So your situation is such where you got to go through this. So how you want to go through? You want to go through with the angels and the protection of YAHAWAH covering you, and as you go through the tribulation, because we all do? Or do you want to be a hard rockhead and think that you're just going to sit back on your step like some of the wacky-tacky Christians saying, well, I'm just going to sit here until the Lord pick me up and deliver me? Let me tell you something. Lord doesn't like lazy people, and he don't like stupid people. So you're either going to learn what you can do to prepare. This is not going to be your salvation. It's not going to save you from everything that's going on, but it's nothing in the scriptures that tells you can't be prepared. To the contrary, it tells you that you're supposed to be prepared ahead of time. So right now, as Elder YAHAWAH said, you got a grace period, and this is your grace period to get and be prepared. Okay? Because when the zombies cut loose, like Apostle Ramlan was talking about, I'm gonna tell you something. There's gonna be some off the chart zombie situation going down. It ain't gonna be nothing. It's gonna be way, way harder and above what we see in the movies and all that crap. Because the Most High, when he comes with, no one understands the level of what he comes with. When he brings what he brings, man, he blows everybody's mind. Okay, so I'm telling you, he talks about and gives you the opportunity of preparedness, and we're gonna get into it, and we're gonna break it out. And now I'm not saying, and look, I'm not gonna tell you, like, he doesn't give us the spirit of fear. 2 Timothy chapter 1, verse 7. We don't have. He didn't give us the spirit of fear. Okay, I'm not talking about being afraid, but I'm talking about being prepared. Okay, there's a difference. All right. Just same thing in Numbers chapter 10 verse. We're gonna get these. Okay, let's just go there. That's what we need to do. Where I want to start at, I want to start in the book of Ezekiel. So go with me to let me get here. All right, I'm going to Ezekiel. So I want you to go there with me. All right, because I'm telling you, I'm going to bring you some stuff that's going to let you understand that there is a way that we can go through this, and we have to. I'm going to Ezekiel 38 and verse 7 to start off this, okay? And then I'm going to pop over Ezekiel 20, and then we're going to run through some scriptures there, and then we're going to keep it moving. Okay, so Ezekiel 38:7, and he said, and YAHAWAH Shem Yahushua says, okay, be thou prepared and prepare for thyself, thou and all thy company that are assembled unto thee, and be thou a guard unto them, okay? So basically what the Most High is telling you right there off the bat is, you got to be, if you're leaders of these camps and organizations, if you're leaders of anything, your family, if you're leaders of, you have to be that guard. So you got to know what to do, because they're going to look at you in terms of, what do we do now? How do we make it through this? How do we get the water? How do we get the food? How do we build the shelter? How do we keep ourselves in a position to move when we have to? What's the sequence? What's the process? Okay, so you got to know how to do some of these things. And who else is going to tell you? The prophets have always told the sheep what it is they have to do. So the shepherd tells the sheep what to do. If you don't know what to do as a shepherd or as a leader, as a prophet or as a teacher, then you need to find out. And you need to go to your leaders and go to them and get them to say to you, okay, this is what our procedure is. If this happens, we do this. When all communication drops off and there's no cell phone coverage, nobody can call each other, no one can talk to each other, where do you meet? How do you meet? How do you get there? What are you supposed to do when you get there? How do you do that? How do you stay circumspect and then under cognito when you go through things? These are the things you got to learn to understand and how to do it. Okay, and that's what's important. All right, so let me pull up. I want to go to Ezekiel. Like I said, I'm going to Ezekiel 20, and we're going to go and bring out some. We're going to read from here. I'm going to start right at the top of this chapter, because this speaks a whole lot about preparedness, okay? And Matthew chapter 24 also does this, and we'll get there as well, but let's go here first. And it came to pass in the 7th year and in the 5th month and the 10th day of the month. Now, all three of those things have deep spiritual connotation to it, okay? 7 is also spiritual completeness. 5, of course, is grace. And of course, 10th is also power, and it's the ability to show a organization, all right, as well as, how you get together. And there's certain of the elders of Israel came to inquire of YAHAWAH and sat before me. Then came the word of YAHAWAH unto me, saying, Son of man, speak unto the elders of Israel, and say unto them, call Shalaki. Thus saith the Lord power, or the Lord, or YAHAWAH Bashim Yahushua, are ye come to inquire of me? Question, as I live, saith the Lord, YAHAWAH power, I will not be inquired of by you. Okay? All right, finishing 4. Wilt thou judge them, son of man? Wilt thou judge them? Cause them to know the abominations of their fathers. See, if you're not bringing out the sacred name and not getting in fashion to understand that the Most High is performing a creation cleansing. I said this already, all right? A purification process that is a creation cleansing. You heard it here first. This is what he's doing, okay? He's going to cleanse all he created, including us. We all have to be created. We all have to be cleansed. Why? We have to be cleansed because we need to be purified to be in the presence of YAHAWAH YAHWAH. It's very evident. You can't get around that. Okay? So we got to go through that process, okay? What was I at? Okay. Wilt thou judge them, son of man? Wilt thou judge them? Cause them to know the abominations of their fathers. 5. And say unto them, thus saith the Lord power. In the day when I chose Israel and lifted up my hand unto the seed of the house of Jacob and made myself known unto them in the land of Egypt, when I lifted up my hand unto them, saying, I am YAHAWAH, your power, in that the day that I lifted up my hand unto them to bring them forth of the land of Egypt into the land that I had espied for them, flowing with milk and honey, which is the glory of all lands. Now we're back in this situation again where the Most High is going to deliver us out of Egypt 2.0, all right, Rome 2.0, all of what you want to call it. This particular spiritual Egypt period of time right now that we have to come out of, okay? So here we go. Most High don't change, Malachi chapter 3, right? Then I said unto them, cast ye away every man the abominations of his eyes, and defile not yourselves with the idols of Egypt. I am YAHAWAH, your power. So the Most High is telling you out the bat, you got to stop dealing with falsehoods, going out here saying the wrong name instead of the sacred name. You know, I was watching a lesson not too long ago. I believe Elder Apostle Gabar was bringing it out about, I think it was IUIC, I'm not sure. I think it was them. They're talking about why do you have to know or say the sacred name or whatever? See, why do you have to say the name? I mean, they're just blocked, spiritually blocked. Okay, okay. All right, your idols. I am YAHAWAH, your power. 8. But they rebelled against me and would not hearken unto me. They did not every man cast away the abominations of their eyes, neither did they forsake the idols of Egypt. Then I said, I will pour out my fury upon them to accomplish my anger against them in the midst of the land of Egypt. See, right here in this wilderness where we are, right? But I wrought for my name's sake. I wrought for my name's sake. Do you hear this? Okay? I wrought for my name's sake, he said. All right? That it should not be polluted before the heathen, among whom they were, in whose sight I made myself known unto them in bringing them forth out of the land of Egypt. So that's what I'm saying. When the Most High told Moses, when he got the word from YAHWAH on Mount Sinai, I am, and he told him he had to come and bring the namesake. He brought the accurate namesake, not a false namesake, but the accurate namesake. Let's make sure we understand that, right? Wherefore I caused them to go forth out of the land of Egypt and brought them into the wilderness. So we're going to go through the same process, okay? We're going to come out of this wilderness. Most High, YAHAWAH YAHWAH, and the angels going to take you out of here. And there's going to be those that are rebels. We're going to get to that are going to go to the wilderness. And you rebels are going to get your purple uniforms ripped off your, you know what, okay, off your ass. And all those that also one body in wickedness and everybody else, y'all gonna have to get it because y'all rebels. Y'all might be somewhat in the truth, partially in the truth, but you're rebels and you're gonna have to pay for this. You're not getting away with this. Most High is gonna judge Israel first. Okay. All right, here we go. All right. Wherefore I caused them to go forth out of the land of Egypt and brought them into the wilderness. 11. And I gave them my statutes and showed them my judgments, which if a man do, he shall even live in them. 12. Moreover, also I gave them my Sabbaths to be a sign between me and them, that they might know that I am YAHAWAH. that sanctified them. Now, you know they disobey the Sabbath because they try to go Friday sundown to Saturday sundown. Man, back then there wasn't no days of the week, okay? There was no days of the week. So and how many wicked organizations are now still pushing Friday sundown to Saturday sundown, knowing that's not the right one? Now, we already know the Purple Gang, they've been messed this up. They got all kinds of wicked stuff coming down, talking about the Sabbath the wrong way. So we know they don't even do that right. They polluted it, okay? And it's still polluted among them, okay? All right, so where am I at? All right, 13. But the house of Israel rebelled against me in the wilderness. They walked not in my statutes, and they despised my judgments, which if a man do, he shall even live in them. And my Sabbaths, they greatly polluted them. And I said, I would pour out my fury upon them in the wilderness to consume them. But I wrought for my name's sake that it should not be polluted before the heathen, in whose sight I brought them out. 15. Yet also I lifted up my hand unto them in the wilderness, that I would not bring them into the land which I had given them, flowing with milk and honey, which is the glory of all lands, because they despised my judgments and walked not in my statutes, but polluted my Sabbaths, for their heart went after idols. Still doing it today, still celebrating these wicked holidays, still going off and doing the wrong things. Nevertheless, mine eye spared them from destroying them, neither did I make an end of them in the wilderness. But see, that's going to change this time around, because this is the last captivity, and this is the last time we're going to be going through this. So the Most High is going to make a perfect example about this deliverance that we get, and it's going to be a doozy. I mean, it's going to be more than I can say there. So get ready. Okay, he says here, okay, nevertheless, my eye spared them from destroying them, neither did I make an end of them in the wilderness. Okay, but I said unto the children in the wilderness, walk ye not in the statutes of your fathers, neither observe their judgments, nor defile yourselves with their idols. Now, he told you not to do the stuff they did, but these wacky tackies and everybody else is still doing the same thing, including some Israelite camps and organizations that we know that are wayward and deviating. And they're trying to say somebody else is deviating, but they're completely deviated, okay? So we can see that, okay? He said, I am Yahawah, your power. Walk in my statutes and keep my judgments and do them. And hallow my Sabbaths, and they shall be a sign between me and you, and ye may know that I am Yahawah, your power. 21. Notwithstanding the children rebelled against me, they walked not in my statutes, neither kept my judgments to do them, which if a man do, he shall even live in them. They polluted my Sabbaths. Then I said I would pour out my fury upon them to accomplish my anger against them in the wilderness. You see, he keeps saying this because, you know, in order to get to the wilderness and go through the wilderness, and in the wilderness that we're in right now here in Egypt, he's pouring out this on Israel and on Jake, right? Nevertheless, I withdrew my hand and wrought for my name's sake, again, that it should not be polluted in the sight of the heathen, in whose sight I brought them forth. I lifted up my hand unto them also in the wilderness, and I would scatter them among the heathen and disperse them through the countries. See, this is where we are right now, all right? Because they had not executed my judgments, but had despised my statutes and had polluted my Sabbaths, and their eyes were after their fathers' idols. 25. Wherefore I gave them also statutes that were not good, and judgments whereby they should not live. And I polluted them in their own gifts, and they caused to pass through the fire all the openings of the womb. So we can see how all of our children and all of the young Jakes are going through the fire consistently right now. They're getting burned like crazy, and we can see it happening. That might make them desolate, and to the end that they might know that I am Yahawah. Okay, 27. Therefore, son of man, speak unto the house of Israel and say unto them, thus saith Yahawah power, yet in this your fathers have blasphemed me, in that they have committed a trespass against me. And you see continuous blaspheming happening right now with a lot of these organizations, religious practitioners as well as those who claim to be in the truth, okay? For when I have brought them into the land for which I lifted up my hand to give to them, then they saw every high hill and all the thick trees, and they offered their sacrifices, their presence and provocation of their offering. There also they made their sweet savor and poured out their drink offerings. Then I said unto them, What is the high place whereunto ye go? And name thereof is called Balaam, right? Unto this day. Wherefore say unto the house of Israel, Thus saith the Lord YAHAWAH, Are ye polluted after the manner of your fathers? Question. And commit ye whoredoms after their abominations? Question. For when ye offer your gifts, and when you make your sons to pass through the fire, ye pollute yourselves with all your idols, even unto this day. And shall I be inquired of by you, O house of Israel? Question. As I live, power, I will not be inquired of you. Okay, that's what I just read there, right? In 38:7. And that which cometh into Shalaki, and that which cometh into your mind shall not be at all that ye say, we will be as the heathen, as the families of the countries, to serve wood and stone. Okay, this is wrong. As I live, saith YAHAWAH, surely with a mighty hand and with a stretched out arm and with a fury poured out, will I rule over you. Okay. And it will bring you out of the people and will gather you out of the countries wherein you are scattered with a mighty hand and with a stretched out arm and with fury poured out. So he's gonna be kicking, dragging, and kicking tail and taking you to where you're gonna be talked to and justified whether you are supposed to be here or not. You will get that far, but you're getting your butt kicked along the way. So you're not escaping anything, okay? And I will bring you into the wilderness of the people, and there will I plead with you face to face. Now, when the Most High pleads, you know how he gets down. His pleading is usually his form of judgment that he performs. We know this to be true. Just like he said he's going to plead with the heathen when he takes him down to the Armageddon, the garden, Shalaki, the Armageddon, when he's taken down to Megiddo, into that place. He gonna plead with them, all right? And it's not what they think. Okay? Like as I pleaded with your fathers in the wilderness of the land of Egypt, so will I plead with you, saith YAHAWAH. And I will cause you to pass under the rod, and I will bring you into the bond of the covenant. See, here we go. And I will purge out from you among the rebels and them that transgress against me, and I will bring them forth out of the country where they sojourn, and they shall not enter into the land of Israel, and ye shall know that I am YAHAWAH. So the Most High is telling you right there, the rebels is going to get their butt kicked, okay? Because they're doing things that are way against what the Most High wants during this end time period. We have a lot of things that we need to be doing his way. Not the way of your organization, but the way he said do it. And if you're not following that accuracy and doing it the way Most High YAHAWAH Shem Yahawashi said do it, then you're going off, okay? And he's going to purge you out, because that's what he said he's going to do. That's why he's going to bring you out of the country wherein they sojourn, and they shall enter into the land of Israel, and ye shall know that he is YAHAWAH. 39. As for you, O house of Israel, thus saith YAHAWAH, go ye, serve ye every one of his idols, and hereafter also, if ye will not hearken unto me, but pollute ye my holy name. See that? Polluting his holy name, my holy name, no more with your gifts and with your idols. All right. 40. For in my holy mountain, in the mountain of the height of Israel, saith YAHAWAH, there shall all the house of Israel, all of them in the land, serve me. There I will accept them, and there will I require your offerings and the first fruits of your oblations with all your holy things. 41, and I will accept you with your sweet savor when I bring you out from the people and gather you out of the country wherein ye have been scattered, and I will be Shalaki, and I will be sanctified in you before the heathen. That's where your praise and worship has to come in. That's why you got to practice and do it now, so you know what you need to be doing then. Okay. 42. And ye shall know that I am Yahawah power, that I am Lord, and when I shall bring you out, you shall know that I am Yahawah when I shall bring you into the land of Israel, into the country for which I lifted up my hand to give it to your fathers. 43. And there shall ye remember your ways and all your doings, wherein ye have been defiled, and ye shall loathe yourselves in your own sight for all your evils that ye have committed. See? Judgment starts in the house of Israel first. And ye shall know that I am Yahawah when I have wrought you for my name's sake, not according to your wicked ways and not according to your corrupt doings, O ye house of Israel, saith Yahawah power. He keeps telling you namesake. Don't you get it? If you don't have the sacred name, then you can't be operating in the truth in terms of not getting the brunt of the tribulation isolation process and what's going to happen. If you're not going under the sacred name, you're going to get the brunt of this. I'm telling you, and it's coming to Israel first. It's coming to Israel first, which simply means what? All those who are at the top, who are leading all these men, thousands of purple uniforms running around, you're going to get touched first because you're not operating right. But hey, Most High got you doing it. He controls everything, all parts of everything. So if he got you all bugged out, then that's what he needs you to do at this time. You've been predestined to do that part of it. Okay? All right, 45. Moreover, the word of Yahawah came unto me, saying, Son of man, set thy face towards the south, and drop thy word towards the south, and prophesy against the forest and of the south field, and say to the forest of the south, Hear the word of Yahawah. Thus saith Yahawah power, behold, I will kindle a fire in thee, and it shall devour every green tree in thee, and every dry tree. The flaming flame shall not be quenched, and all faces from the south to the north shall be burned therein. Nuclear fire, chariot fire. No place will escape. You cannot run and hide anywhere. 48. And all flesh shall see that I, Yahawah, have kindled it. It shall not be quenched. Then said I, Lord power, they say of me, doeth he not speak parables? Yeah, he do. But guess what? In every parable, it lines up with truth. So think about that. That's why we started off with Ezekiel chapter 20, and we had to roll down through that. So now what we're going to do is we're going to break out some more scriptures and try to make this a little bit, not as long, but I'm trying to get to the point to let you know. The wilderness, you are in it now, but you're going to go into the thick of the wilderness. Okay? When you get chased out of your homes, when that MOTB, when that C-hip is pushed on you and you have no other way to go and you don't have anybody to depend on except Yahawah Shem Yahweh Shai, you are supposed to have been getting prepared. This is your prepared time. I don't know when it's going to stop, but the brothers are telling you right off the bat, we can see the signs of how the lessons are being tampered with, shut down, sounds being taken away, stuff not being put up. The apostles and the rest of the brothers are going to rumble. That's another channel phase. This is what's happening. The writing's on the wall. You can see what's going on here. And this is your preparedness time. Okay, let's get some more scriptures on being prepared because we need to do that, okay? All right. I think I'm gonna go to Numbers while I'm still here. Yeah, I think I will. Pop over to Numbers. Go with me to Numbers 10:31. And it reads, and he said, leave us not, I pray thee, for as much as thou knowest how we are to encamp in the wilderness, and thou mayest be to us instead of eyes. Let me read it again. All right, Numbers chapter 10, verse 31. And it reads, and he said, leave us not. He's not going to leave you. All right. He will have the angels helping you, but you still got to do your part. I pray thee, for as much as thou knowest how we are encamped in the wilderness. So you can be camped up in the wilderness. You know, hey, the Feast of Tabernacles went through, the Feast of Booths just went through. We knew how to do it. We got to learn to do this. We got to learn to do stuff. And thou mayest be to us instead of eyes. Come on, man. Y'all got to step up and understand what's going on here. All right? You don't have the spirit of fear. He's giving you the spirit of victory. He's giving you the spirit of resolve. He's giving you the spirit of an austere man, but you still got to know what to do. You could be strong as all get out, but if you don't know what to do in the wilderness in order to get through the tribulation, what good is all your strength going to do you? Samson had strength. It wasn't his hair. It was told by people who were misled that his hair was his strength. Most High channels through different things. But at the same time, when he didn't have his hair, what did he do? He prayed to the Lord, prayed to YAHAWAH. He's under the banner of the Levite. And what did he do? He got his strength back because the Lord provides the power and strength, not something that you wear or you have on your hair. That's not it. Okay. I wanted to go to, let's see, New Testament. I think I'm going to go to 2 Timothy, because I want to talk about your spirit, you don't have the spirit. 2 Timothy. Go with me there, 2 Timothy, and I want chapter 1, and I'm going to go to verse 7, and it reads, for YAHAWAH hath not given us a spirit of fear, but of power and love and of a sound mind. So you need to have love, a sound mind, and power. Of course, the love is the Father. You got to give him a higher love. When you show him a higher love, what does he do? Then he takes fear away. You won't be spiritually fearful. You will be spiritually prepared instead of spiritually fearful. Okay, and then you can show power. Okay, how do you show the power? The power is the ability to function through the tribulation and get through this period of time, even in the wilderness, even if you have family members or others with you. Your people who are with you, that you're going through this tribulation when everything else is turmoil and going crazy before the nuclear holocaust starts on the world. If you're in the wilderness or doing what you're doing, the chariots can find you wherever you are. Okay, but if your goal and your particular predestinated process is for you to run to the wilderness instead of going into a concentration camp or whatever, then you got to show power to who you're with. How do you show that power? By having the ability to function within those confines. Doing that, knowing what to do, knowing what to build, knowing how to build it, knowing how to start a fire, knowing how to make a cover for the fire where it's sort of like a dome that creates a inner portion where you build the fire in it, where you can cook in it. And it can be of various sizes. It could be this big, or it could be that big. And then you have your fire in it. And why do you cover it so it doesn't shine outward? Because those that are in the wilderness looking for you in any trouble, they won't be able to see what's going on. Myself, like I said, when I was in Philadelphia, I lived next to this park called Bartram's Gardens. Okay, Bartram Gardens, you could look it up in Southwest Philadelphia. And I lived in the projects in Bartram Village, right? And so what I used to do when I was younger, I used to hang out in the park all the time. I learned how to hunt in the park, I use bow and arrow. You know, I wasn't no gun hunter. I'm not a person that's always looking to try to pull out some kind of weapon of that nature. If we have to run to the wilderness, you don't want to be pulling out no guns anyway, because when you make those sounds, Esau coming. He's coming towards where the sound is, and plus he got more firepower than you do. So while you need to remain silent, you need to remain incognito, you need to remain covert. So you need to operate in a covert fashion. If you notice that the thumbnail from my particular lesson on this showed you a compound bow, all right, that's a good thing to have. Get yourself a compound, get a couple, get one for you, one for whoever you're with, your brother, your sister, your mother, your wife, whoever. So when you go into the wilderness, you can get arrows. See, nothing wrong with having a bow. You could fish with a bow. You can put a rope or string on the back of the arrow. You can shoot it and into a fish, pull the fish out of the water, you got a fish, okay? Same thing for animals. It's a silent protection and it's a silent way to hunt. You could shoot an arrow and take an animal down, you know, follow the blood trail, get that animal, learn how to dress it and clean it, you know, get the innards out, leave the innards. What? Don't leave them at your campsite. Take that animal and drag it to a water source. Like I told you before, be a quarter of a mile away from a water source where you do your camping. You know, go to the various different sporting goods stores right now while you can. If you don't do it during their wicked holiday period, do it after. You try to get you a good deal. Go get you a hammock that has a covering, you know, like a mosquito net covering. Okay, why? Because if you have a hammock that covers you when you're laying in it, once you put it up 8 to 9 feet in between two trees, you have it in a position where what? If anything falls on it, if you have a covering in it, it'll fall on it and fall off onto the ground, okay? Any kind of rain, some of them hammocks, they have a rain covering situation. So if it starts raining while you're in it, the rain will just go off the sides of it and you won't get wet while you're in there sleeping, okay? You want it 8 to 9 feet off the ground before animals and stuff that's going to be running around. You think you're going to be the only one that's hungry? They're going to be hungry too, and they're going to look at you as food. Okay? You coyotes, bears, wolves, wherever you are. I don't know where you are, but you're going to have to deal with these kinds of things, all right? So why you want it up 8, 9 feet is because when you sleep, you're vulnerable. Yeah, the Lord going to watch over you, but you're going to be vulnerable still. So you need to be up in a position where if you're up high, the animal might be sniffing, or a bear. When a bear stand up, you know, a bear, a regular bear weighing about 300, 400, 500 pounds. When they stand up, they're close to 7 feet. Okay. Now the arms are a little shorter, so they can't scratch or reach at you. But if you up there in a hammock and it's at least 9 feet off the ground, which is a good way to get it up, and you put this stuff up early, you put it up ahead of time before when you first break camp. And you gotta, like I said before, you gotta take and clear. You gotta search your camp area. You gotta mark off your camp area and make sure your camp area is secure and is protectable, is visible. You don't want to be in the thickest of the trees where you can't see what's coming, whether it's animal or person or whoever. You know, you gotta make sure you're circumspect with that. So you march off about 75 feet, 80 feet or more in a circumference with some trees and some water not too far away from you. So when you clean an animal, you can leave the innards at the water, because you gotta remember, animals go towards water sources in the evening also to drink and fulfill themselves and to hunt. So you got to be careful of that. You got to make some staves out of long branches and long pieces of tree that you can carry, and you sharpen the edges of it. Why? You make 3. You make one to where your fire is. You make another one to where you sit and eat. Never eat where you're going to sleep, and never eat right at the fire. Move back away from it some so you can see what comes into the picture if anything comes in that direction. Okay, and you have a stave there, which is a long type spear in case something comes. Make one, make the first one about 8 feet, next one about 10 feet, and then the next one after that about 12 to 15 feet long. This way you have 3. You put the one where you're sitting up against a tree with your back up against that where you can't be snuck up on, and then you have your fire in front of you, you know, maybe 5 or 6 feet away, and then wherever you're sleeping, when your hammock is up and everything is covered, you know, and then have a line dress across the other side where you can pull up your food and your resources up off the ground and hang them up high so nothing can get to it or ransack it, okay? And then, you know, you have that other 12, 15-foot stave or spear up against that side of the wall, up that side of the tree where you're going to climb up to go to sleep. This way you have that there. That's just like a rudimentary way to have one area of camping. Go and get you some prepared stuff. Don't be trying to go all the way out into the wilderness with a bunch of pots and pans and all kinds of silverware. No, you ain't doing all that. That's not how you got to get down. Go get you some survival gear. Get you some survival stuff. Get a couple of packets for each family member. You know, put the names on those things. If you got kids, make sure each child has a pack that they can carry with the stuff that's essential for them. Okay? Don't try to sleep in bad crap. You don't want to be on the ground when the SHTF hits, because everything's going to be going haywire. Animals are going to be roaming all over the place. And depending on what time of year it is, you got to deal with certain circumstances. Okay, like I said, if it's going to be in the summer or the spring, late spring, you're going to deal with snakes, all kinds of other creatures crawling on the ground, not to mention bugs, rodents. It's going to be all kinds of stuff like that. More towards the winter, you're just going to have to deal with things like coyotes, wolves, you know, maybe some badgers or some wolverines. They're vicious. You know, you never know. You may have to deal with some bears for a period of time before they go into hibernation. But you got a lot of situations going. Don't try to be like Esau and go into a damn cave. That's not where you're at. It's not your thing. You need to make sure that you're fluid and you can move when you have to, where you can cut the lines, drop your resources down, you know, with the rope, wrap them up, put them on your back with your backpack, you know, get your hammock down, roll it up, bug out and be gone. You depend on your bow and arrow. If you have some portions of firearms that you can work with, that's your last resort. You don't want to be using firearms to hunt. You don't want to be using firearms to protect yourself in the beginning, because it brings more attention to you. The loud noise is going to be where people gravitate to. They're going to say, oh, somebody's hunting, somebody's shooting. Oh, let's go find out where that's coming from. You don't want that. You want to be covert while you're doing what you're doing to be alert. And you got to make sure that you're being prepared for all the circumstances that you got to deal with. So, I mean, you're just kind of bringing out, this is what you have to operate, how you have to operate if you get chased to the wilderness, okay? Because no one's telling you this. Who's telling you how to operate? You know, if the Most High sent quail like he did to the wilderness, it didn't tell you in the Bible how they cleaned it. But these people live out there, so they kind of know some of this stuff. But do you know how to clean a quail? If quail comes upon you. I used to hunt pheasant. When I was in my family will tell you, and right now the only two left is my sister and myself. And basically she'll tell you, she'll remember this. If she wanted to chime in and put a little thing saying, yep, that's what he did, she'll tell you, hey, look, Most High puts in your spirit and builds you the way he wants you. Man, I used to live in the park, and I would stay. I had a dog, little golden brown dog called Barney, and me and him used to hang out in the park. We used to hunt everything, man: rabbits, squirrels, pheasants. I've eaten pheasants in the park when I've hunted them and caught them, you know, because I know how to defeather them and clean them. Look, I'm not perfect at it, but I learn. I read, I research, I find out what I can. You know, and so at one point in time, I came home with a live hawk. Yeah, a real hawk on my arm. Brought him right in my house into the apartment where my mother was living, where I was living. My dad was there and my mom was there, and I think my brother and sister were there too. And they were like, damn, what the hell? That's an eagle, a hawk? No, it was a hawk. And I had him on my arm, and he didn't bite me or nothing. He didn't hurt me, and I was feeding him a hot dog. Hey, this is a true story. You can check. My sister will tell you this is a fact. I did that, okay? And then eventually I had him for like about 2 days, and then I think he wasn't injured bad, but he had a little something going on, and I got him off the ground, and I picked him up. Now first he started to bite at me a little bit and bite at me, but when he saw my spirit wasn't going to hurt him, and then everything was cool, and I just carried him out the park into the project, into the apartment on my arm, and of course he was kind of gripping hard, but he didn't hurt me. And I took him in the house and into the apartment and showed him. And man, you should see my mom and my dad was freaking out. They were like, "What the hell is going on? What are you doing?" Hey, look, Most High put it in me, man. It was just my spirit's where I am. Most High has done a lot with me in terms of various things that I consider to be very special and very, very rare and blessed. I mean, I have this innate artistic ability, but it's based on and geared in a engineering fashion. In other words, The Most High gave me the ability to invent things, okay? This is not something that I went to school in Esau, Edom's fool system. Esau never taught me how to invent something, never taught me how to illustrate the inventions that the Most High put in my spirit and my mind, okay? I'm an engineer and natural inventor from YAHAWAH, okay? Before I went to school to get an art degree and to get any other degrees, any other education, the Most High had this in my spirit already, okay? And you can't go to school and be taught to be an inventor. It doesn't work like that. Either it's in you or it's not. And I've done a few things for the Most High, and things could have probably been high level, but that's not what he wanted for my spirit. He wanted my spirit to be doing this at this time. So this is what it is. Okay, so I digress a lot. Let me get back to scriptures. See, don't get me talking about stuff, because I've done a lot of crazy stuff, but I've done a lot of stuff that I think the Most High is blessed, and I know he has in many ways. Okay, so now next we're going to go to okay, I did Timothy, I did Numbers 10:31. I want to go to Acts while I'm still in the New Testament here. Go to Acts, 7, and I want to go to 38 here, and it reads, "This is he that was in the church in the wilderness with the angel which spake to him in the Mount Sinai, and with our fathers who received the lively oracles to give unto us, to whom our fathers would not obey, but thrust him from them, and in their hearts turned back again into Egypt." And see, this is what we could run into a problem. He says he brought them out after he had showed wonders and signs in the land of Egypt and in the Red Sea and in the wilderness 40 years. So I'm speaking in terms of that. But you notice that even when the Most High delivers us from a lot of crap that we get into, we turn right back to Egypt. Look at what people do now. Look at Jakes. Man, Jakes love their slave master. They love Egypt, man. They will not leave this place. They love the provision. Soon as some stuff happens, soon as some shit hit the fan, they go running right back to Esau, to their slave master. Oh, help me, save me. Look at them. They run around, they self-mask mandate themselves. Man, that stuff has been taken. Esau don't even wear the mask no damn more, hardly. But look at Jakes, man. They still doing it. You ain't even got to tell them to do it. They do it anyway. Running right back to Egypt, right? This is what they do. Okay. All right, I want to go to Luke chapter 12, verse 47. We're going to be wrapping up soon. Let's get through some scriptures here. I digress. Forgive me, okay? And maybe I'll get Matthew 24 before I end this out, right? Luke chapter 12, verse 47. "And that servant which knew his Lord will and prepared not himself, neither did according to his will, shall be beaten with many stripes." So you got to be prepared. And if you're not going to be prepared, you're going to be beaten with many stripes. Okay. I read to you Ezekiel chapter 38. And when he told you had to be prepared, 7, right? Here's one from Matthew chapter 24, 42. "Watch therefore, ye know not what hour the Lord do cometh." In other words, that's why you got to be prepared, because you don't know when YAHAWAH is going to show up. Okay. Proverbs 21:31. "The horse is prepared against the day of battle, but safety is of YAHAWAH." See, so you can prepare, which you should, but your safety is of YAHAWAH. He's still going to keep you safe, but you have to still prepare and do something. You can't just sit around and just, twiddle your thumbs and hope that, you might get delivered from something that's going to go down. I'm not telling you to take up arms, not saying that at all, but you need to be prepared to take care of what you're responsible for, including the sheep, all right? Luke 21, all right? "But when ye shall hear of wars and rumors, wars and commotions, be not terrified, for these things must first come to pass, but the end is not by and by." Okay, now I could read all the way down to 36 and give you all of that, but I know y'all ain't gonna hang for that, because I got more precepts to cover. Luke 14:28. "For which of you intending to build a tower sitteth not down first and counteth the cost, whether he has sufficient to finish it?" See, he's telling you, you have to sit down and prepare to count the cost in order to function and do what you need to do, right? That's what 2 Timothy says. 2:15, study to show thyself approved unto Yahawah, a workman that needeth not to be ashamed, rightly dividing the word of truth. So if you're doing that, then you're being prepared, okay? Proverbs chapter 6, verse 6 and 8, okay? Go to the ant, thou sluggard, consider her ways, and be wise, which having no guide, overseer, or ruler, provideth her meat in the summer, and garnereth her food in the harvest. You see, even the ants, the Most High got the ants preparing. So you won't prepare? Please. You better learn to prepare, or you're going to find out why you should. Romans chapter 13, verse 11. And that knowing the time, that now is high time to awake out of sleep, for now is our salvation nearer than when we believe. See, so we're telling you to prepare and wake up out of sleep so you can function in this truth of ours and get to a point where the Most High can get you through this tribulation. John 16:33. These things have I spoken unto you, that in me ye might have peace. In the world ye shall have tribulation, but be of good cheer. I have overcome the world. So the Most High, YAHAWAH, told you YAHAWAH is going to cover you, but you still got to do your part. You can't just sit the hell around and just expect things to not work right, things to just happen for you. It ain't going to go that way. 1 Peter chapter 13. Wherefore gird up the loins of your mind, be sober, and hope to the end for the grace that be brought unto you at the revelation of Yahawashi Hamashiach. Okay? Gird up your loins, right? Matthew 24:13. But he that shall endure unto the end, the same shall be saved. Right? Proverbs 21:31. The horse is prepared against the day of battle, but safety is of Yahawah. I've got to reemphasize that because it's very important. Okay? Don't look past it. Don't walk past that. All right? Shalaki. All right. Next, I got Romans. These are my notes. Okay. Romans chapter 12, 1 and 2. I beseech you, therefore, brethren, by the mercies of Yahawah, that ye present your bodies a living sacrifice, wholly acceptable unto Yahawah, which is your reasonable service. And be not conformed to this world, but be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind, that ye may prove what is that good and acceptable and perfect will of Yahawah. Okay? Luke 12:47. And that servant which knew his Lord's will and prepared not himself, did according to his will, shall be beaten with many stripes. So you will catch a bunch of hell if you're not preparing. Okay? All right, Luke chapter 21. Luke 21, and I think I'm going to start at about 9, right? So I think that's going to be a good one. So bear with me. Of course, Yahawashi is all up in it, red letter, right? But when ye shall hear of wars and commotions, be not terrified. See, don't have, and you're not supposed to have, the spirit of fear, okay? You're supposed to have the spirit of preparedness, not the spirit of fear, okay? Prepare, don't be scared, all right? You got to learn that. It's what's important, right? If the Most High is going to protect you, you got to be able to deal with it. Yahawah says, are you spiritually prepared or are you spiritually scared? Which is it? Which one are you? Okay, let's read what Yahawashi has to say. Okay, and take heed that ye be not deceived, for many shall come in my name, saying, I am Hamashiach, and the time draweth near. Go ye not therefore after them, but ye shall hear of wars and commotions. Be not terrified, for these things must first come to pass. See, this is going to happen before you get delivered or pulled out with a chariot, right? But the end is not by and by. Then said unto them, nation shall rise against nation, kingdom against kingdom, and great earthquakes shall be in diverse places, and famines and pestilence and fearful sights, and great signs shall there be from heaven. See, The Most High is telling you everything that's going to be laid out that you got to get prepared for. All right. But before all these, they shall lay their hands on you and persecute you, delivering you up to the synagogues and unto prisons, being brought before kings and rulers for YAHAWAH's namesake, for YAHAWAH's namesake. Once again, you saw the pattern in the scriptures about being prepared to deal with the namesake that's being treated in a blasphemy way that we need to get away from, okay? And ye shall turn, Shalaki, and it shall turn to you for a testimony, all right? That's what they're going to do. Settle in, therefore, in your hearts, not to meditate before what ye shall answer. In other words, don't try to give them an answer. Let the Ruach HaKodesh give you an answer, okay? And it will. And for I will give you a mouth and wisdom, which all your adversaries shall not be able to gainsay nor resist. And ye shall be betrayed both by parents and brethren and kinfolk and friends, and some of you shall they cause to be put to death. See, that's the thing. Let me read that again. And ye shall be betrayed both by parents and brethren and kinfolks and friends, and sometimes and wives as well. People going, look, in your own family, they won't betray you. They show you the signs right now with the stuff they do. They rebel against what you ask them to do. You're the man of the Lord. You're the one who's being directed by what the Most High tells you to do and how to do it in line with what they see happening. They see these things happening. It's not like you saying stuff and they don't know what's going on. Even if they are bugged out their mind, or even if they are blocked spiritually, to some degree, they still see what's going on, but they go against you anyway. Why? Because they love their slave master and they don't really love the Lord. They don't love Yahawah. That's why they're doing it. It's no other reason. Why else would they do it? They see the stuff happening in front of their face. They know that Yahawah is not dealing with them. It's not giving them any information, any truth. They don't have no accuracy. They're not bringing out no scriptures. They're not talking about anything. They're still talking about trying to do shit in the world. And they're going to go against you, which is what it says right here. And Yahawah is telling you exactly how it's going. Ye shall be betrayed both by parents and brethren and kinfolks and friends, and some of you shall they cause to be put to death. Whose death? Esau Edom. Put to him. Because who does the Most High use as his perfect wicked weapon to punish and destroy everything in the whole wide world system? Esau Edom, right? The only one that's going to have a bigger body count than Esau Edom is going to be YAHAWAH himself, which all of it belongs to him, but basically he uses him in a puppetized fashion. And ye shall be hated of all men for my name's sake. Again, do they not hate us because we won't deviate from the name? Yes, they do. They may say they don't, but they do, okay? But there shall not be a hair on your head perish. See, that's why you got to stay with the sacred name. Don't listen to the bug outs. Let them go ahead and go against you. Let them talk against you. Let them try to do stuff against you, but he will deliver. But just still prepare, okay? Prepare, all right? 19, in your patience process ye your souls. In your patience process ye your souls. And when ye shall see Jerusalem compassed with armies, people before it's a place, right? Then know that desolation therefore is near. Then let them which are in Judea flee to the mountains, see? And let them which are in the midst of it depart out. Now, if you're in Judea, that means if you're amongst other brethren who are Judeans, you're in the midst of Judea, because it's a people before it's a place, okay? And then it says, flee to the mountains, the wilderness, okay? And let them which are in the midst of it depart out, and let not them that are in the countries enter thereunto. So you can't let them know where you are and let them know where you're going. You got to be covert at the situation, okay? For these be the days of vengeance. See, this is when the Most High is coming down on Israelites and everybody else, right? And that all things which are written may be fulfilled, and they have to be before this is all over. That's why the CHIP and MOTB is right inside on you right now, okay? But woe unto them that are with child and them that give suck. Now, let me say something about those two things real quick. Yes, it could literally be in terms of you being with a child that you have to take care of in terms of young souls that you're responsible for. Yes, it will be tough. But also, woe to them who are of a childish mind. If you think and you operate like a child, you don't know what to do. You need someone to help you. And them that give suck to what? Not just to a breast to have food, but if you're giving suck also, that means you're giving in to, or you're trying to go back to Egypt to get suck. You know, like you're trying to go back and get some solace for the tribulation in the process you're going through because you can't take it because you a weak ass. Okay, just like weak ass beta male simps that always be talking crap about, oh man, we got to give the women this and let them do that. No, feminism's over. We're not doing that anymore. That's out. Most High is bringing his men in order. He said his pasture is men, not men and women. It's men. So all that's out. Giving suck, you giving suck to the wrong thing. All right. So that's what you're not. In those days, for there shall be great distress in the land. We see that right now. Everybody's going under distress. And distress means no jobs, no money, no food, no clean air, nothing. Most High let Esau do what? Mess it all up, taint it all up, toxic, everything's toxic. None of this stuff is going into the new kingdom. Nothing from this period of time can be garage sale into the new kingdom. It's all got to be creation cleansed. You can't be in the presence of the Most High YAHAWAH Shem Yahushua unless you have been purified, completely purified. That's the purification process that brings perfect. Okay? All right, let me, where was I at? Okay. Okay, that's right. And there shall be distress in the land and wrath upon this people. 24. And they shall fall by the edge of the sword and shall be led away captive into all nations, and Jerusalem shall be trodden down of the Gentiles until the times of the Gentiles are fulfilled. Now, of course, you know, that's all Matthew chapter 20, 24, 29 to 31, and also Mark 13, chapter 24, 27. So we know that Yahushua is serious through YAHAWAH Shem Yahushua when he tells you this, because he's repeating it in so many different ways, okay? And there shall be signs in the sun and the moon and in the stars and upon the earth, distress of nations with perplexity, and the sea and the waves roaring, all everywhere amongst all people. And we see that happening right now. If you can't see this happening right now, you are completely spiritually blocked by the Most High YAHAWAH Shem Yahushua. Okay? If you can't see this, you are completely blocked. Okay? Men's hearts failing them for fear, and looking after those things which are coming on the earth, for the powers of heaven shall be shaken, and then shall they see the Son of Man coming in their clouds with power and glory. Them chariots gonna show up then when this stuff hit the fan at that level, okay? Now you're talking about getting the hell out of here, all right? And when these things begin to come to pass, then look up and lift up your heads, for your redemption draweth near. You see what I'm saying? And you could be prepared and in the wilderness, because that might be your lot to not go into a camp, a concentration camp. You see? So you gotta be prepared for whatever, whether you go in or not. Prepare for both. It's what you should be doing. And he spake to them in parables, behold, the fig tree and all the trees. All right. When they now shoot forth, ye see and know of your own selves that summer is nigh at hand. So likewise, ye, when ye see these things come to pass, know ye that the kingdom of YAHAWAH is near at hand. Verily I say unto you, this generation shall not pass till all be fulfilled. We are that generation. We are the ones going through that right now. Okay? We're the generation. All right? Heaven and earth shall pass away, but my words shall not pass away. And take heed to yourselves, lest any time your hearts be overcharged with surfeiting. Okay, so in other words, don't get in front of this like you're going to deliver yourself, because you're not. And don't let an organization or an individual distract you from what YAHAWAH Shem Yahushua tells you to do, because you're supposed to be mirroring the Mashiach. That's what you're supposed to be doing, okay? And drunkenness and cares of this life, and so that they come upon you unawares. So if you're thinking, well, I'm gonna stack some money away, well, I'm gonna be building this business, I'm gonna do this and that, you're surfeiting, okay? You're talking about the cares of this life. You think you got time. When you look around, Esau's still building stuff. He don't got a clue. He think things gonna go on forever for him, but it's all going down. Okay. 35. For as a snare shall it come on all them that dwell on the face of the whole earth. Watch ye therefore and pray always. Praise, worship, and pray, because you got to do both, right? All three. That ye may be accounted worthy to escape all these things that shall come to pass, and to stand before the Son of Man, YAHAWAH, Bashem, Yahawashi. And in the day, Shalaki, and in the daytime he was teaching in the temple, and at night he went out and abode in the mount that is called the Mount of Olives. And all the people came early in the morning to hear him in the temple for to hear him speak. There you go. So like I said, Yahweh is saying, are you spiritually prepared or are you spiritually scared? If you're spiritually scared, then you can't be prepared. And you're wasting time, because if you're not doing it now and trying to get prepared, you are going to be scared, because you're not going to be able to know what to do. You're going to be all messed up, and you're not going to be able to get to where you need to go in time, and you're not going to pick up on the clues. You got to pick up on the clues that Yahweh Shem Yahawashi has set forth for you for your destination, your predestination, in terms of what you agreed to in the spirit world. And so now you're here, and we all want to get back to the Most High, right? But do we want to disrespect his sovereignty in the process? Are you doing that now? Are you disrespecting his sovereignty now? You very well could be, if you're not following the sacred name, because his sacred name follows everything else that's accurate and sacred right down through that name. He's going to make this entire system, this entire world, know and say his correct sacred name. It is going to happen, whether you want to participate or not. This is what we're up against at this time. So, like I said, if you have to run to the wilderness, do you know what to do? Go out to the sporting goods stores. It's hunting season. Some of the stuff's going to go on sale after these wicked holidays they go through. You know, you can buy a compound bow. You can buy a crossbow if you can't pull a bow back, which should be pretty easy. They got them in various pound sizes, you know, from 35 pounds to 45 and on up. Crossbow, you crank it up. They have a little arrow and you can use it. These are silent ways to protect and hunt and forage and get the things you need. Buy a little small camping kit that allows you to have something in it like an axe, a knife, a flint. You might want to make sure you can get some purification straws, so that if you have to get a water source to drink from, you can draw it with the straw and it'll cleanse the water through the straw. They have those out there. Your leaders should be telling you some of this stuff, because if you live in the cities and you have to try to find a way to live outside of the cities and some of the wilderness areas, you need to be able to know how to function in those areas and stay incognito until the chariots come to get you. The angels are going to know who you are. They'll help protect you, but you got to still do your part, you know? So when you walking through your Walmarts and your Dick's Sporting Goods or wherever you are, Academy Sporting, look at these things. Ask questions about this. Talk to Esau about, you want to learn how to do this and do that. Watch some of the survival shows so you can learn how to do this. Be covert. Learn these things, because I'm telling you, it's going to come a time when you're going to be without the resources that Esau's providing you, that's already toxic and not good for you anyway. You got to know what kind of stuff you can eat when you're out in the woods, in the field, in the wilderness. What plants you can dig up, what plants you can not touch. You got to learn these things. Do some reading, do some research. Yes, you have to study and know your scriptures. You have to know how to do all of that, but you also have to still be prepared to do things while you're still here in the flesh till you transition to to the new covenant and then get the new bodies and whatever power the Most High has allotted you predestinated to get. But you damn sure better get ready through praise, worship, and prayer and find out how to live through isolation, tribulation. Because at some point in time, you will be isolated and you will go through tribulation. All of us will be touched by it. You may not catch the full brunt of it because you may not be that level of a sinner or that level of an individual that has gotten in enough repentance, but our righteousness is all as filthy rags. So none of us are at a point where we've already overcome. So we have a lot still to do, and a lot of prophecies are still going to be fulfilled, but some of the main ones are popping off right now. So you got to get ready. And this was just another PSA, a public service announcement that leaned on the fact that Yahawah is asking you, are you spiritually prepared or are you spiritually scared? Kolo YAHAWAH, Yahweh. I thank you, my Father, for the knowledge as I cry. Kolo YAHAWAH, Yahweh. Shlaki Yahweh, for your mercy as I cry. Kolo Yahweh, Yahweh. Shlaki Yahweh, for your